Hello everybody, I am Manisha. At presently, I am pursuing B.Ed first year. Recently, I have completed my M.Com. So today my topic is about recording of business transaction, which is chapter number 2 from the subject accountancy related to intermediate first year under Telangana state syllabus. So this topic I have divided into 7 classes, like 7 periods. In class 1, concept of voucher and preparation of vouchers. In class 2, accounting equations. In class 2, systems of accounting. In class 4, meaning and classification of accounts. In class 5, rules of debit and credit. In class 6, journal and preparation of journal entries. And in class 7, ledger posting. So in class 1, introduction about the voucher. So a voucher is a document that serves as a evidence for our business transactions, or it is a source document for recording the business transaction. It is a piece of printed paper that is used for some purpose. The document provides proof or evidence of a business transaction and is known as voucher. The source document includes invoice, pay-in slip, cash memo, check, debit note, credit note, salary slips, etc. So say an example. When you go for the DMart, after purchasing items and paying the payment, in return the counter people will be issuing you a list of items which you have purchased, containing all the cost of all those purchased items. So that receipt is nothing but a voucher. It is a proof. That list is a receipt which is a proof what you have purchased and have you paid the payment. So this is how a voucher can be explained. So I have taken an example of petty cash receipt. So here date, you will be writing the date, then receipt number of the receipt, then approved by means from whom it has been issued, received by to whom it has been given, and the description of the purchased items, under amount, cost of the items. Next we have preparation of vouchers. And that first one is cash memo. So when goods are purchased or sold for cash, the firm gives or receive cash memo. It provides details regarding cash transaction. Next one is purchase invoice. When goods are purchased on credit, firm receives purchase invoice from the supplier of goods. So here purchased on credit means there are two types of transaction. One is cash and the other one is credit. So when the transaction is of cash, that time, as soon as you purchase, the payment is done right there. Immediately the payment is done. But in the case of credit, the payment is not done at the same time when the goods are purchased. The payment is done after some time. So that is what difference between cash transaction and credit transaction. So when goods are purchased on credit base, that time purchase invoice is given. Next is sales invoice. So when goods are sold on credit, similar like purchase invoice, when goods are sold on credit, that time sales invoice is issued. It also contains date, name of customer, description of goods, value of goods, etc. Next is receipt. So when a firm receives cash from customers, it issues a receipt as a proof of cash receipt. It is prepared in duplicate, like there will be two copies. The original copy is handed over to the parties making payment, and the duplicate copy is kept as record for reference. Next we have pay-in slip. So pay-in slip is available when the firm deposits cash or deposits a check in the bank account of party to whom it is paid. The counterfoil of pay-in slip issued by banker serves as an evidence. Next we have check. So a check is a direction to the banker to pay certain sum of money to a person, stated in the check by the banker to pay certain sum of money to a person, stated in the check by the depositor. When checks are issued, the details are recorded in the counterfoil of the check book giving the information as to the party name, amount, and date of issue. So these are also one type of voucher which the bank will function. Next we have debit note. So debit note, it is a written note sent by the customer to the supplier when goods are returned. The note received gives information of goods returned, their quantity and value. It states the amount debited to supplier's account. Let's suppose you have purchased some items and now you want to return few of them. So this is nothing but the purchase return. That time the customer to the supplier will be issuing a debit note stating that these are the items I want to return. Similarly, we have here credit note. So it is a written note sent by the supplier of the good to the customer when the goods are returned by the customer. So this is issued by the supplier in to state or to tell the customer like, yes, we have accepted the goods which you have returned. So this note issued to the customer stating that the party means the customer account is credited with the value of goods returned. Original copy is sent to the customer and the second copy is retained for reference. So today in class 2 we will study about accounting equations. So accounting equation is based on dual aspect concept of accounting principle. So dual aspect concept means for every debit there is a credit. The accounting equation shows the relation between the economic resources of a business. Economic resources of a business nothing means the assets and the claims. Claims is nothing but the liabilities created against those resources. Like you have purchased the assets, you are doing your business, you have so like you will be having some liabilities also. So from where you will be paying that liability? From your capital, from your assets. This is presented in the form of an accounting equation. Assets is equals to equities and equities are nothing but the claims. Next we have assets is equals to capital plus liability. So this is how our balance sheet is prepared based on these equations. If you want to have the capital value, you can use this equation. Like from the second equation, the third equation is formed like capital is equals to assets minus liability. Similarly, if you want to have the value of liability, you can have this like assets minus capital. So let's know more about the equation. Let's suppose an example. Mr. Ganesh commenced business with cash of rupees 50,000. So if you fit this transaction into an equation, there are two items. One is cash and one is capital. Third item is liability. So here cash is 50,000. So whenever any person investing money in the starting of the business, that is known as capital. So that is why here capital is 50,000 and also cash is also 50,000. But the liability is 0 because nothing is given. So now see, in asset side we have cash 50,000. On the other side, capital plus liability, we have only capital, that is why capital amount column is 50,000. We don't have liabilities, so in liability we have 0. So this is how the accounting equations are done. Now these both sides are balanced. Another example, Ganesh purchased furniture for cash for rupees 10,000. So here capital is required to procure assets. In order to have assets, we will be purchasing those assets from our capital. So previously our capital was 50,000. From that 50,000 we have purchased 10,000 of furniture. So remaining like 50,000 minus 10,000, the remaining amount is 40,000. That 40,000 is nothing but the cash. If you see in the chart, cash is 40,000, furniture is 10,000 and capital is 50,000. and liability is 0. So this is how an equation is balanced. Assets, total assets is cash plus furniture. The total capital is 50,000 same. Let's have another example. Purchase goods on credit from Mr. Shankar for rupees 15,000. So here goods are purchased on credit, not on the cash base. So cash 40,000 is separate, furniture 10,000 is separate from our earlier two examples. Now the extra one is goods. Goods which is purchased on credit base for rupees 15,000. So that is why our total assets is furniture plus cash plus goods. That is 10,000 plus 40,000 plus 15,000. That is 65,000. And the capital is 50,000. And the liability here is, as it is purchased on credit base, here comes the creditor. Like we need to pay from whom we have taken the goods. So that person name is Shankar. He is the creditor. So this is a liability. Liability means nothing but it's an obligation. Like it's a responsibility you have to complete. You have to pay the amount whenever you have the money. So our creditor have 15,000 due, like which we need to pay him. So this is how the accounting equations are balanced based on assets, capital and liabilities. So today in class 3 we will study about systems of recording transactions. So it is divided into two parts. Systems of bookkeeping and then systems of accounting. So in systems of bookkeeping we have again classification which is two. The first one is single entry system, the another one is double entry system. In systems of accounting we have cash system and mercantile or accrual system. So let's study them in detail. So firstly I would like to introduce bookkeeping. So bookkeeping is nothing but it is a science of recording business transactions of financial nature in regular and systematic manner. Such recording of transactions may be done in any of the following ways. So it is a system where we will be recording the business transaction in a particular and in a proper way. There is a systematic manner, proper manner to record the business transaction. That is known as bookkeeping. So bookkeeping can be done in following ways. The first way is single entry system. It is treated as an incomplete system of bookkeeping. Incomplete because it does not deals with both debit and credit. It deals single system, single entry. Like it's not an entry, like single item you can say. So it is treated as an incomplete system of bookkeeping, which is usually followed by small business units. According to Kohler, it is a system of bookkeeping in which, as a rule, only records of cash and personal accounts are maintained. Hence, it is not treated as a reliable system of bookkeeping. So, it deals only with recording cash and personal accounts. Rest all other it does not record. That is why it is stated not reliable. Next is double entry system. So, here from the name you can see double. Double means two. Like for every debit, there will be a credit. So, it is a system in which both the aspects of all the business transactions are recorded. Every transaction has two aspects, giving and receiving. Example, when you pay money, there is someone to receive it. Two accounts are affected at the same time and the same amount. Like one account will be the benefit receiver, that is debit. Another account will be the benefit giver, that is credit. So this is how double entry system is followed. So next, in accounting systems, we have two types. First one is like cash system of accounting. So under this system, entries made in the records only for transactions which involve receipt and payment of cash. So it records only cash item, that too whenever we are purchasing or selling, the cash is paid at that time, at that moment. So it records only cash transaction. Let's suppose outstanding aspects such as expenses payable. The expenses are not paid, they are going to be paid. Income receivable or accrued. These things here is not considered. This system of cash will record only transaction related to cash. Next we have mercantile or accrual system. So accrual nothing but, let's suppose you have taken admission in intermediate college. So your admission is considered, but the fee you will be paying in later coming installments. So as soon as admission is considered, you will be recording the transaction, even though the fee is paid later. So accrual nothing but the whole effect of business transactions are recorded. That is the amount of received and receivable. The expenses paid and outstanding are recorded. So it doesn't matter whether the payment is done on the same moment of purchasing. If it is done on the later terms also, here we will be recording the business transaction. Today in class 4 we will study about meaning and classification of accounts. So account is nothing but it is a summary of transactions relating to a person or a thing. All the transactions relating to a person or a thing are recorded at one place. An account assumes a shape of the letter T. The performer of an account is as under. So you can see there are total 4 columns. On the left side, from the left side we will start. The first one is date, particular, JF number, amount, then again division, then again date, particular, JF number, amount. So first 4 parts are nothing but the debit side, and next right side is the credit side. So this is how we prepare the account. In further coming classes we will be learning more about this. So next we have classifications of account. It is done on 2 bases. One is personal account, another one is impersonal account. So personal account we have again 3 things: natural person, artificial person, representative persons. And in impersonal account we have real account and nominal account. Let's study about these. First one is personal account. So by the name you can see personal. So the account related to person. Let's see, natural person. So related to individual. Let's suppose Ram account, Ramesh account, any single person name account if it is given, it will be called as natural person and considered under personal account. Second thing we have artificial person. So related to group of persons like Andhra Bank account, SBI account, L&T account. So this is nothing but a group of persons account. So whenever group of persons account is stated, that will come under artificial person of the personal account. Third thing is representative person. So when we represent to a particular person, that time it will come under representative person. Let's suppose salaries payable to employees account. Like salaries are payable, it is indicating to whom? It is representing to the employees. So this is how representative person is considered under personal account. Next we have impersonal account, that real account. So related to assets. Assets are the things of the value which helps the business to generate revenue, like it's a property. Resources, economic resources of the business is nothing but the assets. Example, you can see tangible or intangible. So here tangible means things which we cannot see, which we can see and which we can touch. Intangible means which we cannot see or which we cannot touch. Example of tangible assets are like buildings, machinery, furniture. These all we can see and we can also touch. Another one is intangible. In intangible, we cannot see, we cannot touch, like goodwill, copyrights, patents, lease, etc. Next impersonal account we have is nominal account. So nominal account related to expenses, losses, incomes, and gains. So examples are like salaries, wages, rent paid, commission received, discount allowed, discount received, sale of goods, purchase of goods, etc. So in nominal account, while doing the journal entry, we will not be stating the person name. Directly will be considered these expenses, losses, incomes, and gains. So in class 5, we will study about rules of debit and credit. So first rule is about personal account, and the rule is debit the receiver, credit the giver. Next we have real account rules. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Next we have nominal account. Rule is debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Let's analyze this following transaction and know how to debit account or how to credit account. Let's suppose Mahesh commenced business with cash rupees 1 lakh. So here we have two accounts, two things. One is cash, another one is capital. So here capital is of 1 lakh and cash is also 1 lakh. So we will be debiting one thing and another thing will be crediting. So let's learn how. So here cash account is nothing but it comes under real account. As cash is the assets of the property, assets of the business, that is why it will come under real account, and under real account as commencement of the business, cash is coming to the business. Cash is coming into the business. That is why cash is debited. Whereas the capital comes under personal account because the person who is bringing capital to the business is Mahesh. So Mahesh is a person name. That is why it will come under capital account, and capital account is considered in the personal account, and based on personal account Mahesh is the giver. The person is the giver. That is why capital account will be credited. Next example is like purchase machinery for cash rupees 10,000. So here machinery has been purchased for cash rupees 10,000. Here also we have two items, one for debit, one for credit. So first is machinery. So machinery is assets, that is why it comes under real account. And here machinery, as we purchase something, that things is coming to us. Similarly, machinery has been purchased, so machinery is coming into the business. That is why machinery is debited. And cash, as we are purchasing something, we are paying the amount in terms of cash. So cash is going out and cash is a real account. So according to rule, when cash is going out, it should be credited. That is why cash account will be credited. Next we have purchase goods from Rommel on credit 50,000. So this is a credit transaction. So that is why no item of cash will come here. We have two items, one is purchase, another one is person name. Because it's a credit transaction, it is not a cash transaction. So here we have purchase. Purchase also comes under real account, which means goods are coming in. When we are purchasing something, that thing is coming into our business. So when goods are coming in, that is why it is debited. And in Roman account, he is the giver. From him we have purchased. So that is why according to personal account, giver is to be credited. Next we have paid wages to Jasmine rupees 15,000. So whenever we are paying wages to Jasmine, wages is nothing but the expense, and this total thing is related to nominal account. So wages related to nominal account where wages are an expense. So according to rule of nominal, expense are to be debited. And cash, as cash is going out because we are paying something, paying salary or paying wages, cash has been paid to them. So that is why cash is going out, and the real account, the rule is to be credited. So this is how we need to debit an item and credit an item. So in class 6 we will study about journal and preparation of journal entries. Let's talk about first journal. So the term journal means a daily record. It is a book in which business transactions are recorded for the first time. It is also called as original or prime entry. So let's suppose we are going for the college. For the first 2-3 days you will be carrying a rough notebook. In that rough notebook you will be noting down everything you have been taught in the college. But after few days, after knowing what subjects you have, you will be dividing that subject wise notes. This is how the first rough work, everything is recorded in one book for the first time. That is nothing but the journal. This is how a journal entry is been formatted. Date, particular, LF number, debit amount, credit amount. In date, in particular journal entry, like which is debited, will be written as X account debtor to Y account. Y account is credited. And below that, we should write the narration. B should be the starting of the narration. Next, debited amount we have written X account debtor to 10,000 to Y account on the credit amount 10,000. Example, you can see on 1st Jan 2020, Mr. Ganesh commenced business with cash of rupees 90,000. So here we have two things, one is cash, one is capital. So as cash is coming into the business, cash is an asset to business. That is why based on real account, it should be debited. Like cash is coming in, like what comes in should be debited. That is why cash account will be debited. Another thing is capital. So capital here is invested by the person, and capital is considered under personal account. That is why personal account rule is credit is the giver. So the journal entry will be cash account debtor to capital account. Here I have recorded the entry cash account debtor to capital account, being capital bought into the business. Next we have example 2. On 2nd Jan 2020, purchase a computer for office use 5,000. Here computer and 5,000. 5,000 is the cash and computer. This two item needs to be considered. That is why computer, as we purchase computer is coming into the business. That is why computer is debited. And as we are paying the cash is going out. That's why cash is credited. So journal entry is computer account debtor to cash account. Narration is being computer purchased for cash. Next example we have goods sold for cash. So here cash and sold, that is sale and cash is considered. So cash account is coming in. As we are selling something, in return we are getting the cash. So cash is coming into the business, that is why cash is debited. And because this is done to the sales, and sale is also treated as an income according to nominal account rule. Credit all incomes and gains. So sales comes under income. That is why sale is credited over here. The narration is being goods sold for cash. In class 7 today we will study about ledger posting. So this is the second stage of recording. Like first stage is journal entry. We are recording every item in one book, and after that we are separating each accounts in ledger posting. In ledger. And the way we do that is known as ledger posting. So the posting is a process of transferring the entries recorded in the journal to the respective accounts in the ledger is called posting. It is necessary to know the net effect of various transactions during a period of time on a particular account. So this is a format how we need to prepare a ledger. We need to divide the ledger into 8 columns. First left side is first 4 columns of left side is debited, and next right side 4 column is credited. Like date, particular, JF number, amount. JF number means in journal entry, wherever you have written that particular journal page number is recorded in ledger, so that it will be easy when you cross check. And similarly on the right side we have credited, like the date, particular, JF number, amount. So on the debit side you will be writing to account, and on the credit side you will be starting with by account. Let's have an example. Cash account debtor to capital account. So first account you will be preparing is cash account, and second is capital account. So in cash account, so here in the journal entry cash is debited. So the ledger posting will be done on the debit side only. But in cash account, we won't write itself name. We will be writing the opposite thing name. And the opposite thing over here is to capital account. So we have started with 2 in the debit side and we have written to capital account. We should balance these two accounts. That is why we don't have anything on the credit side. So we will be writing by balance carried down, and then this 90,000 balance carried down will be forwarded for the next period by stating to balance brought down. Similarly, we will preparing the capital account. So in this one entry, capital is recorded on the credit side. So we will be recording the ledger posting on the credit side, but not capital itself. Its opposite one, and its opposite one is cash. And here we will starting by. So that is why by cash account 90,000, and to balance this, to balance carried down on the debit side, and afterwards we will be forwarding this balance carried down for the next period by stating by balance carried down. Another example we have computer account data to cash account 5,000 5,000. Here we will prepare two ledger account, computer and cash. So here computer is on debit side, so we will be recording the ledger posting on the debit side. So debit side, computer name will not come in computer account. So opposite one is to cash account, that is 5,000. So in order to balance both the sides, we will be writing on the credit side by balance carried down, and thereafter we will be forwarding this to the next period by stating on the debit side down to balance brought down. And if you see these two lines which is shown in the amount column, where 5,000 above one line is there, where 5,000 below line is there, this is nothing but the balancing. We are balancing this. So this is a remark. This lines are the remark. Yes, we have balanced the accounts, both sides. Both side totals are equal. Next is cash account. So in the journal entry, cash is on the credit side. So we will be recording the entry on the posting on the credit side, but not the cash name itself, the opposite one. The opposite one is by computer account. So by computer account is 5,000. So to balance it on the debit side, we will be writing to balance carried down, and after balancing it, we will be forwarding that balance to the next period by stating by balance brought down. So here are the questions. Which of the following are types of voucher? Cash memo, purchase invoice, sales invoice, or all of the above? Next quiz is, it is a piece of printed paper that is used for some purpose. The document provides proof, evidence of business transaction, and is known as voucher. Do you agree or do you disagree? Next is, which is the correct form of all these? Next, how many types of system recording transactions are there? 1 or 2? Next we have, how many columns does the account pro forma has? 7 or 8? Next is, how many classifications are done based on accounts? 2 or 3? Next is, which is the correct form from all of these? Choose the correct one. Next is, mark down rule of accounts for nominal account. Mark the correct nominal account rules. Next is, where is the first time transactions are recorded? Journal or a ledger? Next is, where is second time transactions are recorded? Journal or ledger? Next we have, write down the journal entry for Harsha commenced business with rupees cash 10,000. So which is the correct journal entry? Mark that. Next we have, for the above transactions, how many ledger accounts you need to be prepared? Thank you. Thank you everyone.